Hey guys, Willie D1 here, and I'm going to do another X's and O's video for you guys. And today I'm going to talk about picks and rubs within the Clemson offense and why we use them. Picks and rubs are an answer to teams who like to play man coverage, in particular press coverage. Okay, so people play man coverage because it allows them to send pressure. Okay, so for example, let's say we have the corners man on the Z, the bandits man on the Y, this Sam or Spurback or whatever you want to call him is man on the H, corner man on the X, right? We got our Will Backer man on the T. That means now if the T is in a route, the defense can send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if they were in cover 0, potentially 6 with this safety. Okay, so we can blitz. We can create pressure this way and still have every single receiver in the formation accounted for. Okay, so that's a big part of it. Is people who play man send pressure. There's really, if you're not sending pressure, you may as well play zone. Okay, people also choose to play man because they have a lot of confidence in their defensive backs, particularly their corners. Okay, there's a reason why you see the best teams in the country week in and week out and year out play a crap ton of man. Clemson, Bama, LSU, Ohio State, all of these guys play a crap ton of man. And it's mostly because they have the DBs to get away with it. Okay, man coverage is an aggressive style of defense in your face. You're going to give up some big plays, sure, but you're going to make big plays too. You're going to get sacks. You're going to force errant throws and turnovers. So it's an exciting style of defense. Now, if you don't have these great corners like Clemson and Ohio State and Bama do, maybe that's where you drop into some really soft zone stuff and make teams drive down the field and score. That's exactly what Northwestern did to Ohio State for a lot of the game. You can win a lot of games that way. Okay, but if you have great talent and you want to use them, and man coverage allows you to do that. Okay. The other part of this is the press technique, particularly from corners. Okay. But you can also see it from slot defenders as well. All right. There's two main reasons to press. Okay. One, it throws off the timing between the receiver and the quarterback. Okay. Even if you can just jam up that receiver for a split second and not let him get off clean, one, you could change the entire place where he starts his release, okay, which could throw off his timing of getting to his landmark. But two, it can also make him get to his landmark later. And if you make a great jam, he might not get to his landmark at all, okay, which even just a little bit of timing, because remember, everything's sequenced in the pass game. The quarterback's back foot hits, he's got to have this ball thrown. And if that's not ready, he's hitching up this. And if the timing gets messed up, it can destroy the whole play. Okay. Two, jams or press really make receivers uncomfortable. They're not guys that are used to being physical. They don't like to be physical. It just is what it is with receivers. Right. So, if you're really confident in your corners, you got bigger corners, physical corners, athletic, and you feel like they can hold up. Okay, man coverage and press is probably going to be really good for you, right? And Dave Aranda, before he got to LSU, big zone guy, cover 3 match and stuff like that at Wisconsin. Brent Venables, before he got to Clemson, played a lot more zone. And now all of a sudden you got all of these dudes at DB. Okay, it gives you a reason to play more man. Okay. Now, man coverage isn't perfect. It's got several major weaknesses. One, you're going to get PI. Deal with it. It's life. If you're playing the technique correctly, you're not looking at the quarterback. You can't see the ball in the air. You're bound to hit them early sometimes. And also, when you play man, sometimes you're just going to get beat. That's life. So sometimes you're better off just grabbing the guy, taking him to the ground, and taking the penalty as opposed to giving up the touchdown. Okay. Again, you create big plays, but you give up big plays too. And a 15-yard pass interference call is way better than a 50-yard touchdown. Right? Man teams also have trouble with screens. Okay? Again, defenders can't see the quarterback. They can't see what's going on in the backfield. So if they're getting run off, they have no clue the screen's coming. And two, when you play man, you're blitzing. You're sending pressure. So if you're sending 5 or 6 guys and now all of a sudden the linemen are releasing downfield, screens are going to be a problem for you. Okay? So, in fact, screens, you always try to throw screens against teams that like to blitz or teams that like to drop 8. That's really the only times that screens are really all that good. All right? You can also create matchups, okay, by motioning guys around. Sometimes you might get a guy like Travis Etienne on a linebacker. Clemson scored 2 long touchdowns in the Ohio State game last year by getting Etienne matched up on a linebacker, right? And, this guy just can't cover 9, right? You'll see a lot of different formations, stacks. Oop, let me undo that. You see a lot of stacks, where your teams will do stuff like this. I know you guys have seen us do this in the national title game, where now it makes it a lot harder to jam. And, these guys can criss and cross and make it harder. Or you see bunch formations like this. That's really tough on man teams because now you got guys going every which way, and it's hard for defenders to trail their man, okay? And this is where picks and rubs really come in. Simply put, picks and rubs are just designed to take advantage of what the defense is doing, right? If they're trying to play in your face and jam you, well, why can't we get in the way of our buddy's man to free him up? Let him get a little head of steam in some space, okay? So, pick plays or man plays, they're not illegal. They're perfectly fair. If the defense can get up in your face and jam you and punch you in the mouth, why can't we set a pick on him? As long as the same rules apply to them that apply to us, right? They can hit us if the ball's not in the air. We should be able to hit them as well, all right? Now, second, really when it comes to man play or these pick plays or rub plays, it's not so much that, we're setting a pick on him like we are in basketball pick and roll stuff. It's more that we're either getting in his way and making him slow down, or in a lot of cases, they actually run into their own guy who's also in man coverage, right? So on Saturday, we saw this little pick variation for a touchdown, okay? It's simply 4 verticals, but we get the switch call on. And I'll show you this here in a minute from I found the cut up of it. But imagine what you're going to do if you're a man here. If you're the corner and you're man on the Z and you're heading here, y'all can see the high likelihood of them either running into each other, or in the case that happened to us, this bandit having to slow down just so he can avoid both hitting our Z or running into his own guy, and it allows Amari Rodgers to get a head of steam and get a step on him, right? So, our guy you don't necessarily have to hit the other dude, okay? Another example would be the national championship game from 2016. Let me kind of draw that for you. So Bama was in a coverage called Cover Zero, and Bama's an odd front team, so I'll kind of just line that up here. They were kind of in a tight front with their linebackers, double eagle, whatever you want to call it, and I think that's about right. All right, so Clemson actually started an empty and motioned Etienne in the backfield just to prove it. Right, remember this play was on the 2-yard line, so the back line of the end zone has broken up every pass that it's defended, right? So Bama's not worried about getting beat over the top. Okay, now they are worried about letting Clemson's big-bodied receivers get an easy release into the back of the end zone and go win a jump ball, because they're pretty sure Clemson probably wants to throw. And by playing this tight front here, they kind of take away Clemson's ability to run inside zone or something like that. So our answer is a simple pick play. Now, we don't actually run a true pick in the sense to where we tell our receiver to, go hit this guy to clear up Renfro. It's just simply we're using this corner's rules against him, okay? And all we got to do is run a slant, okay? And if he's really going to jam, this defender is going to carry himself right into the guy who's man up on Renfro. and Renfro can easily slide out. So let's look at probably the biggest play in Clemson football history here in the national championship game, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. All right. So again, we got cover 0 here, right? Here's your tight front. Okay, got our walk-up backers here. We got man-to-man across the board. And remember, Etienne he began to play. In fact, let me roll it back. There you go. So you can see the motion in here. You see how Alabama kind of is traveling with the motion. There he goes. We know we got man. We're just making a switch call. So he's jammed up here. He's jammed up here. We got a man on Gallman here, right? So watch what happens out here. Who hit who? Who hit who? I mean, Bama, if you don't want to get picked, don't play man. You know what I mean? And you really, I don't even like saying a pick. I think rub is better because it's not really a pick. You know, we didn't hit a soul. He's the one trying to hit our guy. His rules are used against it. And this is one of the better play calls that we made. And you gotta consider how much pressure is on Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott on this play here. You know, it's going to be really, really hard to run inside zone for 2 here with this tight front on. Right? They got a lot of dudes in here, and you know, you could be tempted to try to throw the jump ball down here to Mike Williams, but that's the lowest percentage play in football. But seeing this and having this called and just knowing that it shows a lot of film study and that we were prepared for this moment, but just knowing that, you know, that's what Bama was going to do and having the right call on and going to the guy who probably least expected down there in Renfro, big play, obviously big play, but big time play call in a pressure packed situation. Okay. Here's our switch call from Notre Dame. Let me see. I just had that sucker up. Where'd it go? There we go. All right, now let me roll this back about 5 more seconds. One of these days, I'm gonna get this technology stuff down pat. All right, now so Notre Dame's in a coverage called cover 1, right? Here's your free safety, and he's just he's playing center field. Anything that comes back here, he's gonna help. But he's the only guy in this entire defensive alignment who can help anything. He's basically on, you know, he's on his own. Okay, a man coverage here, locked on. Somebody's blitzing, somebody's man on here, somebody's blitzing, somebody's man on the back. It's hard to tell until the ball snap, but you can tell just by alignment. See how these guys are kind of playing head up to inside. Their eyes are locked on the receiver. You know you got cover 1 here, without a doubt. And we're just going to run this simple switch. Normally, you know, we might just run our regular 4 verticals, okay, regular old verticals in this case. But because we got man, we want to create that natural rub here and here. Just look what happens with these 2 cats here. See how he kind of has to stop his feet to avoid collision with his own guy? It's not that we went and hit him. And he slows down and he loses, there you go. He loses Amari for a second, just a split second trying to avoid the collision here. And Amari gets inside, gets a step on him, touchdown. That's why you do picks. Okay? That's why you rub. Normally you don't have to hit anybody. They'll hit themselves. Okay? It's not illegal. It's not even close to illegal. And I can't stand all the crying, Clemson cheated on us. I know he didn't. Everybody in the world runs pick plays. Everybody in the world, including Alabama, including South Carolina, all of them run rubs. They do it all the time. Ohio State, if we play man, I guarantee you they're going to rub us some on New Year's Day. Okay. Anyway, that's a short video today. That's all I wanted to show you guys. I appreciate you watching. If you have any more questions, hit me up. I'm glad I'll talk football with anybody. Heck, most of the time I'm sitting here staring at the computer talking football to myself. So, it's fun doing these things. Y'all have a good one. Go Tigers.